Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Movies podcast. I'm your host, Brian Drolet, and today we're going to go over some movie news. Now, first of all, Super Mario Bros. Is killing it at the box office. It's pretty cool to see that a movie that gets a 59% by the critics is doing so well and that people are going to see it no matter what, and it has a really high audience score. So it just goes to show you, never trust what the critics say. Go see something for yourself. The movie has made over $1 billion, which is apparently making Disney very jealous because Disney has failed to make a lot of money with its animated movies, and Disney owns Pixar. So Disney has been the king of animated movies. I think Buzz Lightyear made $266 million, which I know sounds like a lot, but is not a lot when it comes to how much money those types of movies normally make. So the fact that Super Mario Bros. Has made over $1 billion, if you're a fan of Nintendo, the odds are pretty good that we might now see a Zelda movie and who knows what else. Although, I will say, they have not confirmed a sequel for Super Mario Bros. Yet, but they're talking about potentially a Donkey Kong movie. Stop right there. Nobody cares about a Donkey Kong movie. I'm sorry. Maybe a few niche or niche? I don't know. But regardless, I don't think anybody cares. I don't think I would go see a Donkey Kong movie. It's cool seeing the Donkey Kong character in the Mario movie, but would I run to the theater to go see Donkey Kong? First of all, there's not like really an in-depth story in any of the Donkey Kong games that I can remember. At least with, all the Mario games, you get a little bit of the story. There's Bowser, the villain, he's trying to save the princess. But do we really care about it? Listen, don't make the mistake that Marvel has made and make 1 million movies with characters that nobody really cares that much about. I mean, let's be honest. Did we need a low-key television series? Although I will say, my friend loves it. I've heard great things, but I digress. Super Mario Brothers, over $1 billion at the box office. There are rumors that Disney might try to compete and make. They do own the video game property Mega Man, which, by the way, is one of my favorite video games. I recently bought a PS5 and I downloaded the latest Mega Man game, which has updated graphics. It's pretty badass. It's a 2D side scroller. So I do think Mega Man's pretty cool, but would it be able to compete with Mario? I don't think so. I don't know that enough people would get that excited. I mean, I'm sure, again, you'd have certain people that are a pretty strong fan base that played the game growing up, like myself. I literally just bought Mega Man not that long ago. But I can tell you, as somebody who loves the game, I don't get that excited about a Mega Man movie. Mario was one that I was excited about. There's just something about Mario, Sonic, Zelda. There's certain characters that, you do get excited to see on the big screen. Mortal Kombat. But then there's ones that, I don't know, just don't. Mega Man, I love the game, but do I need the movie? I don't know. So maybe Disney will make Mega Man. Maybe they won't. I mean, they should give it a shot. Maybe all this talking about Mega Man the movie, now I can't wait to see it. What do you guys think? Do you want to see a Mega Man movie? Do you want to see a Donkey Kong movie? Or do you want to see Super Mario Brothers Part 2? This time it should be the princess that gets kidnapped, and Mario and Luigi team up to go save her and make it a buddy comedy. I know my one buddy saw the movie and he was like, Mario and Luigi get separated so quickly, he didn't like that, but I don't know. You can't please everybody. So in other movie news, we're going to keep in the animated world. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, brought to us by Seth Rogen, that is coming out August 4th. It comes out. I'm very excited. I've been a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies for a very long time, and I was reading some articles recently about this movie. One of the things he wanted to do that he felt was lost in previous iterations was he wanted to lean into the teenager element. After all, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, not adult Ninja Turtles. So he wanted to cast actual teenagers as the voices, and like a lot of the story elements and things that are going to be in this are going to be more about what teenagers are facing. That's kind of what Marvel did with the latest Spider-Man movies. They leaned more into the fact that Spider-Man's a teenager. So I think this is really smart. It makes sense. The movie is animated, kind of similar to how Into the Spider-Verse is animated, which is one of the best movies ever, one of the best comic book movies, but just also such a good animated film. So I love to hear that. Then this article was kind of talking trash a little and saying maybe this could break the Ninja Turtle curse because all prior movies haven't been very good. Stop right there. As a kid who grew up in the 80s and loved the Turtles, the original Ninja Turtle movies were amazing. They tried to say that the costumes and everything was clunky and... Stop right there, okay? I can tell you right now, everybody I knew that grew up with those movies thought they were so badass, thought the costumes were so cool. So I totally take issue with that. Those movies are great. They totally hold up. If you go back and watch them, they're awesome. So don't be talking crap on my childhood movies that I love. Now moving on to the Michael Bay movies. I have to say, these weren't a big critical success or I don't think they got high critical reviews. But I went back and watched those movies recently and I was like, these are better than I remember and they're pretty visually amazing. I mean, in part 1, 2, or 3, I can't even remember. But the one where they're on the snow mountain and they're fighting while falling down this snowy mountain. I mean, it is pretty badass. So I really take issue when you get some snotty critic who's like, yeah. It's like, come on, man. Like, everybody wants to make fun of Michael Bay and the Transformers movies. Could they be better script-wise? Sure, I'm sure they can, but they're visually pretty amazing. And when you're like a 17-year-old boy, you find that stuff badass, or girl, But the point is don't be so damn... I can't stand the pretentiousness and snarkiness in reviews of movies sometimes, especially Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's like, come on, man, it's the Turtles. But anyway, there's also talk that Shredder's not even the villain in the Mutant Mayhem movie. It's Baxter Stockholm or Baxter something, but he's a scientist that creates mutants, which I think is going to be pretty cool and allow for a lot of cool villains. I know Bebop and Rocksteady is in it. I've actually recently been playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge on PS5, which is a throwback to the old arcade classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. So if you're into the Turtles and you're a gamer, check out Shredder's Revenge. You won't be disappointed. Mutant Mayhem by Seth Rogen is coming out August 4th, and it looks pretty awesome. So Disney is talking about a live-action Hercules movie, but they're saying it's going to be redone for the modern era. I don't know. Do we need live-action Hercules movie? I really don't think we do, personally. But they said, the producer said they were going to make it for a TikTok generation. He said nowadays you have to make a movie based off sensibilities from social media. So I'm not really quite sure what that means. He tried to clarify it in the article, but it honestly confused me a little more. Maybe he's talking about like creating viral moments in the movie, but it's kind of annoying how social media has so taken over the world that even movie producers are trying to think of like viral moments in movies. Just make a good movie, okay? But don't make Hercules. I don't think we need that one. That's all I'm saying. Watch, now it's going to come out. It's going to be great. I'm going to be like, my favorite movie ever. Hercules. So a fan created some fan art, and he put Brandon Routh with Michael Keaton's Batman, and there was talk about a team-up movie, and everybody's like, we need to see this. No offense to Brandon Routh, but I don't think we need Brandon Routh back as Superman. Nothing against him. It was just more Bryan Singer, who's a creepy pedophile and preys on young men in Hollywood. I always remember thinking, and I hate to say this, but like the bulge in his underwear just was too big. And just the whole costume, his whole interpretation of Superman was just, in my opinion, cheesy and just did not do it for me. Nothing against Brandon Routh. He was fine. It was more just the interpretation, the costume. And so maybe you bring him back and you change. My gut tells me, no, let's move on. Let's go to James Gunn's Superman, who also James Gunn recently said, when asked what they're looking for with Superman, someone who had humanity, somebody that just felt kind. and somebody that you'd want to give a hug. So, I don't really think that's groundbreaking. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, yeah, I want to hug Superman. He's Superman, He just probably saved me from General Zod. So, let's hug it out, Soups. Can we hug it out, Soups? But casting has apparently begun. They're looking at tapes. Rumors are saying we're going to know who Superman is by July. Because I think the movie starts filming beginning of next year, but it's probably going to go on hold because of the writer's strike. So hopefully that won't go for too long, but James Gunn wants to support the writers in Hollywood that are striking because apparently they're not getting paid what they feel that they deserve from the streaming platforms. So hopefully Superman does not go on hold for too long, because if you're like me, I'm very excited. Can't wait to see what James Gunn does with Superman. So let's keep it in the James Gunn world. Guardians of the Galaxy. People were recently talking about, Bradley Cooper appeared to promote the latest Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which comes out this week. Very exciting. I've already got my ticket. Can't wait to see it. That movie focuses on the story of Rocket, the raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper. And people were like, yeah, how come we haven't seen Bradley Cooper over the years with the rest of the Guardians cast and crew? You don't see him or Vin Diesel as much, although you see Vin Diesel a little bit more. It's not because Bradley Cooper does not love his castmates or the franchise. It's because Bradley Cooper is apparently very busy, constantly filming something. He also produces, and I guess he's taking on directing. So I think since his was just a voice role, he somehow had it in his contract that he wouldn't have to be available for the press tours, which apparently, as I'm told, can be very lengthy, and time-consuming. So B. Coops is a little too cooped up doing other jobs, but he loves the Marvel franchise, has had a blast playing Rocket, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out this Friday. Sometimes you can view it on Thursday night before. I'm not sure if they're doing an early release, but definitely this Friday. Go check out Guardians of the Galaxy. And James Gunn said he got very emotional saying goodbye to this franchise, and mainly because these characters have been so special to him for so long. But he's going to go head DC, direct Superman, and he'll be just fine. But Guardians of the Galaxy, go see it. Let me know what you think. Molly Ringwald. Molly Ringwald was in the news recently. Apparently, she turned down the famous role by Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman because she said, and I quote, it made her feel a little icky. She didn't like the story. And I have to be honest with you, I don't blame her. I mean, it is, when you really think about Pretty Woman, it's kind of crazy that, it's a movie about a very, I guess, likable guy. But, I mean, how likable is a guy that hires a prostitute and then falls in love with her? And I don't know. I'm not into prostitution. I'll never be able to understand how somebody can just, drive in a shady area of town and pick up a random person on the side of the street and aren't you afraid of diseases and God knows what? I don't get it. So to make this feel-good rom-com comedy about it, I always thought that was kind of weird. And he's buying her clothes and yeah, it feels a little icky. I'm with you, Molly Ringwald. But it did go on to be a big hit, so maybe you should have done it. But no, you didn't compromise your morals and you didn't want to do it. But it did go on to be a big hit, and I don't know if that movie, I think that's what made Julia Roberts. It was a little before my time, I was very young, so she might have been in a movie before that, or it might have made her, I think it's what made her a big star, so it's a good thing that Molly said no, but I don't blame you, Miss Ringwald, I don't blame you. So, this is very rare that this happens, but a comedy was recently released called Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. It got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. That for a comedy is unheard of because comedy is so subjective. What I find funny, somebody else might not find funny. So for a comedy to get a 99%, it's subject matter that I don't, just from briefly looking at the movie, it looks like it's a young girl going through puberty, which as a grown man, that's not really, you know, that the type of movie that I'm running to the theater to go see. But with a 99%, it does make me very curious. There's no way you can get a 99% and not be a pretty damn good movie. So I might have to watch Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Weird name too, but hey, apparently it's good, so go see it. Let me know what you think. All right, now in movie news, one of the biggest, most awesome, and most likable movie stars, Keanu Reeves, went viral recently with a video of him interacting with a young fan who said that he is, you know, the biggest fan. He's his favorite movie star, favorite actor. And it is a pretty adorable clip where Keanu Reeves is like, oh, did you see Toy Story 4 and like my character, Duke Kaboom? And the kid's like, yeah, I did. I love it. And he's like, cool. And, you know, Keanu Reeves is like, what's your favorite comic book? Or no, the kid asked him, what was your favorite comic book when you were my age? And he's like, oh, I liked, you know, Archie's comics and some other one, Bizarre or whatever. And it's cool because you see Keanu really, he almost gets like the joy of a little kid, and like you could tell he's so present. He's connected to this little kid, and you know, Keanu Reeves really is the most likable movie star I feel like there is. Just every viral anything of him or anything you learn about the guy is so commendable and just really seems like a class act. And so kudos to you, Keanu. I'm sure you made that kid's year, more than that. So love seeing that, and good for you. And if you guys haven't seen it, check out. You know what? Let's watch the clip right now. Let's watch it together, okay?
Hey everyone, Noah here, and I'm about to interview Keanu Reeves at Golden Apple Comics. Oh my, it's such an honor to be here with you. You're definitely my favorite actor in the whole entire world. I have a question. So, you, Ron Garney, and Matt Kent, such an amazing team. Will you guys ever get back together to work on a project? And maybe even like a project like more for kids like me?
That's a good question. And I hope I get a chance to work with them again. And I hope we can tell some Berserker stories. But I hadn't thought about what you just said. Do it for someone like your age, something like appropriate.
Yeah,
And
like a comic book or something like your Toy Story appearance.
oh, right.
Like,
Yes. Then that's something we need to do.
you're probably my favorite actor in the whole world.
Oh my gosh,
You're the
Noah,
best.
thank you. Did you see Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4?
Yeah, he's my favorite character.
Canada's greatest stuntman! Well, I'm glad you liked it.
Such a great guy. How can you not be a fan of Keanu? Alright guys, that's this episode of Let's Talk Movies. Let me know what movies you're watching. What do you love? What do you hate? And maybe I'll talk about that next episode. Have a great day.